Morgen. Today is Tuesday, the 15th of December, 2020. I am Tanis Leonardi, and today I am talking about Google, Facebook, and YouTube, and maybe a little bit about Yelp, and specifically what it was like when those were released. It's a lot different than usage today, especially for me, because I was in my developmental years and I had like computer lab and tech class, and so the infiltration of these technologies in my life, developmental years means like preteen to teenager, like young teenager. My sister is 3 years older than me, and I was born in 1992 and she was born in 1998, and how these technologies have affected us are drastically different. I think my theory is a bit not a guess, it's a theory, that depending on where you were and if you were in high school or not when Facebook was released. My sister was either a junior or senior when it was released, and it didn't have nearly as much impact on her life as it did in mine, in part because, well, they're already on their way out, so why join Facebook if it's all about social networking? So let's start with, okay, I'm going to classify these. Google, am I going to classify it? Okay, we can start with Google. So let me grab something to write on. So Google was different than the rest. Google was, well, it wasn't the first search engine, and it's not the last. And Google was, so we had computer lab, and we had learned to use search engines and Boolean operators and stuff like that on Ask Jeeves. And then Google came out, and Google was a unique one in the social sense of its release, because it was a couple of people used Google, and they're like, oh, have you heard about this new search engine? And it's kind of like, why do I need a search engine? And I stayed that way for a good, even through high school and college, in large part, just because what I search for is usually factual information, and Google links to a bunch of websites, but I was looking for like peer-reviewed journal articles, databases, books, and stuff, and so like JSTOR and other online things, in ways to search online databases still are better than Google. So I still use stuff like that, or like library searches, so I can find the actual physical thing that I'm looking for. So Google was, I would say, it was released, and I was aware of its release when it came out, but it was a trickle to social infiltration. It wasn't so big as, for me, as YouTube. YouTube. I love YouTube. I love you, YouTube. I am a YouTuber in the sense of watching for a long time, since it was less than a year, but I didn't realize it was less than a year at the time. After it came out, I was just like, I want my music, and I don't care where my music is, and it turns out my music that I was looking for was on YouTube. So that's how I found YouTube. I found that one myself, just because don't mess with me and my music, I won't get my music. And YouTube provided that for me, and I was like, I like this place. I still like this place. My liking this place has grown to loving this place. And YouTube was one where, in my web design class, all the guys had heard of it. Outside my web design class, like nobody had heard of it for a while. So it was actually really neat being in the web design class, because it was like, it was the first time in my life I realized, yes, I do play computer games. There might not be like stereotypical techie computer games, but I do play computer games, and I do play a lot of computer games, and stuff like that. And so my web design class was kind of like finding a home, and YouTube for me, at least on the interwebs or internet or whatever you want to call it, YouTube is kind of my home. I can always find stuff, though I'm trying to switch up what I watch, and so that's been difficult. So YouTube was a positive impact on my life, and near immediate is what I'll say to its release. I was aware of it and using it and found it on my own, and already finding a peer group who also enjoyed YouTube and the antics of early YouTube. It's not so fun antics as much as it was when it was first released, but some of those early days were just really great. So YouTube, and then the next two, so Facebook, and I'm gonna put with Facebook Yelp, because Yelp is kind of another home for me on the interwebs, and it was because I was really into restaurants and going places, and I might have actually I found Yelp like right away when it came out, and I started using it right away, but I didn't make my account till 2007 or something. You can check, if you can find my profile on Yelp, it actually says what day I made my official Yelp account. I think it was 2007, because I think I started both Yelp and Facebook with like official accounts in 2007, and so I love Yelp. I've always loved Yelp, and it was so much fun. So I found Yelp on my own. Like, that one might have been immediate. As soon as it was released, I found that one because I was looking for it, and it came out, and I was like, Yelp's out. I'm like, what's Yelp? Oh, I love this thing. Except for you have to actually write reviews, so it's gonna be a while before I start writing reviews because I have no idea how to write a review. So fast forward, 8 years, and I write my first reviews and stuff. And anyway, so I've been a mass consumer of these early technologies. It's getting to the producing stage in my life. So Yelp, Yelp I love. Yelp's a home on the interwebs. And there's a bonus in addition to the Google, YouTube, and Facebook. So it's Yelp. I still use Yelp. I still use YouTube. I still use Google. Not all the time, though. I have my search engine set to DuckDuckGo on my phone. It's good to get a variety of... You can get drastically different... we'll say that. DuckDuckGo is interesting because you can set your location. And so, like, I played around with setting my location to, like, India or Africa, and the search results you get are drastically different depending on what location you put. So it's very it's an interesting one if you haven't branched out from Google or Bing for a while. DuckDuckGo can provide an entirely new perspective on the world. And it's really cool because it doesn't have the only 10 search results per page. You can scroll. Like, I have literally gotten over 1,000 search results and gone through every single search result just because I enjoyed the scroll feature so much. I wouldn't do that on Google. Like, just no. Like, I have to click on a page. Like, it's just the continuous scroll feature, and I'm like, I actually read a good portion to majority of those 1,000 results. It took me like a week or something, but I was like, dang, this is awesome. So yeah, that's digression, but